Zoom flash, the Switch 2 is going to have some super speed. Plus, we look into if Mario feels pain and the scientifically optimized best Mario Kart 8 Deluxe build. Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. We got a fun and quick weekend edition for you here. Hope y'all are doing well and hope y'all are excited for May, which is right around the corner because it means two Nintendo Switch games, Endless Ocean and Paper Mario, coming in hot. A direct could be at any point, but let's not do that sort of speculation. And instead, let's talk about Switch 2, which I know some of you deny, but it's inevitable. And this newest report that comes from Dr. 81 is very interesting because he has found via his traditional job listing sleuthing that we see Samsung employees talking about working on a special VNAND storage solution for a Nintendo game card. And when you line everything up in the job description, when you line everything up in the achievements, it really seems like they have worked on Samsung's VNAND 5th generation for Nintendo Switch 2, and that it is going to be a significant step up from Nintendo Switch 1. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Let me know your take in the comments down below. Basically, like in layman's terms, this is going to allow games to run better and read from the storage faster, which is always a good thing. Now, this 5th generation technology is not as great as what they're working on now. They do have 9th and 10th generation VNAND technology coming next year. This stuff was supposedly being made in 2018, so as we'd expect, we'll be getting something quite old on Nintendo Switch 2, but like that was always going to be. Nintendo Switch 2 is never going to have like cutting edge technology, and in general, new consoles don't because it's way too expensive to have the latest and the greatest. That would mean the price point of the system would have to be astronomical, and nobody wants a $600 Switch or a $500 Switch. I think $400 is going to feel hefty for most, but that's probably what we're looking at. And nonetheless, like this technology still will be a significant uptick for Nintendo Switch 2, and a lot of people are thinking that like, hey, if this ends up being true based on what we know about the chipset used in the Switch 2 and based on now knowing about this VNAND storage in the Switch 2, that it should be a pretty impressive system and should provide one of the best, if not the best, handheld experience, which I think sounds freaking fantastic. I'm at a point now where like I love the Switch, don't get me wrong, and I'm super excited for Paper Mario because I think that's a big beefy game, and I can't wait to see if they do in fact finally reveal Metroid Prime 4, but like I'm hopeful Nintendo can deliver some more fleshed out titles in the next generation. Stuff along the lines of Breath of the Wild, but for other franchises. It's not to say that their more simple gameplay-driven titles are not great, because the mechanics are better than just about everybody else in the industry, but I find myself wanting a little more meat to chew into, and not just from the JRPG side, because I know they do have Xenoblade and all sorts of things like that, but from more of their like action-adventure games, more of their character-driven games, it would be nice if there was more. And I think like a big open world Mario that has a huge world with all sorts of collectibles and tons of different ways to 100% will be really nifty. And even though Mario Odyssey is a big game, something like this 5th generation VNAND could really improve the scope of the next 3D Mario in pretty cool ways. It also could make the next Zelda even crazier, and I'm just looking forward to having a stronger, better system that can not only support awesome Nintendo games, but also awesome third-party games, because then stuff like Star Wars Outlaws, which I'm very excited for, like in theory, that could run on Switch 2. But nonetheless, this is really good news. And while it's not like official confirmation, based on Dr. 81's findings and based on this person's LinkedIn and what they were, like their objective and then their achievements, it sure does seem like they have achieved and they were working on and being, contracted by Nintendo to find a storage solution. And it seems like this is going to be what the Switch 2 uses and is a very, very strong upgrade from what we currently have in the little old Switch. Now, speaking of a little old game that has sold, 50 million copies is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I found this new scientific study to be really awesome. Now, I saw this over on Eurogamer, and there is a website where you can go and see like how they scientifically broke down from 703,560 different kart builds to the very best. All right, so we're talking about finding the best wheels, finding the best kart, finding the best character, finding the best glider. Pretty darn awesome. They tossed out many of them because they're just, copies, a lot of the wheels and karts and characters, and they got down to a very select few. And obviously it depends a little bit if you are more of an acceleration player, more of a speed player, but the analysis concludes that one of the most popular pro player builds is actually scientifically the best, and that would be Peach as the racer, just regular Peach, the Teddy Buggy, the roller tires, and the Cloud Glider. I'd love to know if any of you out there use this build naturally, because somehow you have one-upped science and done it on your own, finding the absolute best path to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe success. But the website is pretty cool. I'll put a link in the description. That way you can find out what other characters and what other builds work well if you do sort of prefer one over the other. It seems like DK, Wario, and Peach are the preferred characters, and then you can kind of use the tool to see what carts and what wheels gliders should go along with them. I just thought this was very nifty and like the perfect weekend story as we look at fun Nintendo things while we wait for them to announce new games. On that same trail of thought, Mario, does he feel pain? All right, The Verge spoke with Takashi Tezuka, who has worked on the Mario series since Mario Bros. The very beginning. He's been there since the start. And he was asked about, does Mario feel pain? And he said, it may be that Mario does feel pain, but he clarified saying, if the player feels that Mario is feeling pain, that's a better experience, rather than talking about whether Mario actually does feel pain. For us, if Mario hits an enemy and the person playing goes, ow, that's ideal, which is freaking funny to give this much deep thought. But Mario, for someone like Tezuka or someone like Miyamoto, Mario is basically their child. So does Mario feel pain? The Verge wants to know when he falls in a pit, when he takes on Bowser's fire, does he actually hurt? And it sounds like, at least in Tezuka's head, Mario does, his ows are real, which is a bit sad to think we're putting this poor plumber through all of this pain and torture, but he does save the world, or at least save the Mushroom Kingdom many times, so hopefully it's worth it for him. I think it's interesting that we're in a real in-between with Mario, that he could evolve in the same way that Zelda did. We started to see the beginnings of that with Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, in that Bowser's Fury did provide sort of this like hybrid Mario experience, right? It wasn't the worlds of like Mario 64, it wasn't the huge kingdoms of Mario Odyssey, it was more like bite-size within a big world. So it was like levels like all interconnected, but within one space, kind of. Like that's what it felt like to me. Or maybe levels disconnected in one space is a better way to put it. Regardless, Mario has a chance to use the Switch 2's technology to really change. And while Odyssey's change was, I guess, notable, like it really was from the capping mechanic, right? The levels were cool and they were bigger, but we've had Mario venture into paintings and into big levels before. We've had, a variety of different places, whether it's sand or snow. We've seen all of this before. The moons were more scattered. There were more sort of side questy type things. There's a lot of customization. Yes, Mario did make big leaps, but I think the true big leap would be to change much more of the structure of the game. And if Bowser's Fury is any indication, then the next Mario title could truly be a very innovative and very unique one, and I wonder how that's going to work out with players. Mario is so about tradition that switching it up could be scary. Although it's good news that they took risks with Bowser's Fury, it's good news they took risks with Mario Wonder, and it's good news that honestly the Zelda team and Aonuma took risks with both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And those paid off heavily, and in contrast to the Pokemon games where they seem to be a little bit shy, Nintendo's first-party studios are willing to evolve. And even Pokemon tried to go open world, performance aside, that to me was a big step forward, allowing you to attack the gyms in any order that you so choose. And I'm wondering if there's any evolutionary steps for Mario, and 3D Mario in particular, that maybe we're not considering. We didn't really expect or know how Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom would pan out when we thought of a new Zelda game. We didn't expect it to be exactly that way, so maybe we don't have the right knowledge right now to know exactly how 3D Mario is going to turn out. But in talks of a Switch 2 with obviously better graphics, better performance, better frame rate, this new VNAND storage, like it does seem like the Mario game is going to set the bar for what Nintendo can do in the next generation. Pretty graphics, of course, but I'm really curious to see how it evolves their gameplay, and if Nintendo is able to take their mechanical strength, right, like their ability to just divine amazing gameplay, and expand it to maybe a more fleshed out product. It's kind of what I was talking about at the beginning. Like, can we get a AAA like PlayStation style exclusive from Nintendo with Mario? Obviously, we won't have the same story, or like you're escorting a girl through the apocalypse, but maybe they can make the game feel that epic. And I'm so excited to see what they do with the new Mario, and obviously it's a ways off. So first, let's hopefully get a direct and talk about some games from this year. But that'll do it for today, everybody. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about today's topics. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love you lots. SwitchForce out.